It was one of the biggest corporate disappearing acts of all time. The name Facebook, a name that was on top of a multi-trillion-dollar empire, just vanished. Overnight, it was replaced with Meta. Now, the official story, it pointed to some bold new future. But what if that was just a cover? Today, we're cracking open the case file on one of the most audacious rebrands in history to figure out what was really going on. Okay, so let's get right into it. Why did Facebook really become Meta? And this isn't just about a simple name change. Nope. We're treating this like a full-blown financial investigation. We're going to follow the clues, track the money, and expose the strategy that was hidden in plain sight all along. So first things first, what was the official story they wanted us all to believe? So the world was told this was all about the metaverse. Zuckerberg got up there and painted this grand, sweeping vision of an immersive digital universe, and he called it the company's new North Star. It sounded futuristic, it was incredibly ambitious, and it absolutely dominated the headlines. But, we're not here to just take things at face value. Was this grand vision the real reason for the change, or was it the perfect alibi for something else entirely? Right, so our first piece of evidence, it doesn't actually come from looking at the future. It comes from examining the past. You see, the company that used to be called Facebook, it had a really, really serious problem, and a new name was the perfect escape plan. By the time of the rebrand, the name Facebook had honestly become toxic. I mean, just think about it for a second. You had whistleblower scandals blowing up, lawsuits over youth addiction piling up, that huge, damning Netflix documentary. The brand was just sinking under the weight of what some people were calling the Facebook guilt. They desperately, desperately needed a lifeboat. And here is where the strategy gets really brilliant. This was a masterful piece of corporate restructuring. By creating Meta as a parent company, they basically built a firewall. All the controversies, they could be contained with the Facebook app, right? Meanwhile, Instagram, WhatsApp, and all their future projects could live safely under this clean, new Meta umbrella. It wasn't just a new coat of paint. It was a strategic move to sever ties with the toxic past. But that was only part of the motive. Every good investigator knows the first rule. You follow the money. And in this case, the paper trail leads us pretty far away from the metaverse. $19.1 billion. That's how much money Meta's Reality Labs, the division that's supposed to be building the metaverse, lost in a single year. A $19 billion hole. To put that into perspective for you, that's more than the entire GDP of Jamaica. Now, does that really sound like a sustainable new North Star to you? But wait, it gets even crazier. The very next year, the company announces plans for up to $135 billion in new spending. So let me get this straight. If your metaverse division is burning cash that fast, where is all this new money really going? This right here is the loose thread that when you pull it, unravels the entire story. So where was all that cash going? Well, it wasn't just into VR headsets. I can tell you that. It was for something much, much bigger. The metaverse, you see, wasn't the destination at all. It was the perfect distraction. This illustrates the whole strategy perfectly. It's a classic misdirection. While the media, the public, Wall Street, while they were all mesmerized by cartoon avatars and virtual worlds, Meta was quietly pulling off one of the biggest pivots in tech history, pouring those billions into building a global AI infrastructure. It was a classic three-step maneuver when you think about it. First, you build a massive social media empire that has unparalleled data on billions of people. Check. Second, you create a shiny, futuristic object, the metaverse, to distract everyone from what you're really doing. Check. And third, under the cover of that distraction, you pour an absolute fortune into your real goal, becoming the world's dominant AI powerhouse. And if you're looking for the smoking gun, that one key piece of evidence that ties this whole thing together, well, here it is. While Reality Labs was losing billions, Meta quietly spent another $2 billion to buy a little-known AI startup called Manus. So why was this small company so important? Well, it's because Manus was building the holy grail of artificial intelligence, a general-purpose AI agent. We're not just talking about an AI that answers your questions. Imagine an AI that can act as your personal team of market researchers, software developers, and business strategists all at the same time. That's the power they were buying. It was never about building a better metaverse. It was about building a more powerful meta. And if you need that final confirmation, well, it comes from the man himself, Zuckerberg flat out admitted that AI would dramatically transform the company's internal operations. So this wasn't some side project, right? This was the new heart of the entire company. The corporate rebrand was done, but to complete the whole transformation, one more thing had to change. See, for a company that's aiming for total technological dominance, you can't have a leader who still looks like he's coding in a dorm room. The final act of our investigation reveals the transformation of the mastermind himself. The transformation is just stark. The old Zuck, the tech bro in the gray hoodie, he's gone. His old motto was about reducing decision fatigue. The new Zuck, he wears designer shirts and posts pictures with Latin phrases that translate to either Zuck or nothing. The vibe shift is intentional, and it is crystal clear. He's not just a founder anymore. He's projecting the image of a CEO with massive global ambitions. But nothing, and I mean nothing, encapsulates this personal rebrand, this pivot from tech nerd to global power player, more than the final piece of evidence in our investigation. It's something that ties his personal ambitions directly to the company's high-stakes financial game. Almost $900,000. Let that sink in for a second. That's the price of the rare Grubel Forsey watch he was recently spotted wearing. Now, this isn't just a timepiece. It's a statement. It's a symbol that says the man who once wore hoodies to simplify his life is now playing a very, very different and much more expensive game. So, what have we uncovered? When you lay it all out, the rebrand from Facebook to Meta wasn't just one thing. It was this multi-layered masterpiece of corporate strategy. It was an escape from the past, a clever distraction for the present, and a massive all-in bet on a future powered not by the metaverse, but by AI. And this brings us to our final and maybe most crucial question. Meta is spending hundreds of billions of dollars to build an AI empire with the power to completely reshape how we work, communicate, and live our lives. So, our investigation might be closed, but the real mystery is just beginning. In this new world that Meta is building, who will truly be in control?